Hi everyone, welcome back to MovieTube. I'm Jade and I'm here with Jordan.
Hello.
And the two of us are going to be chatting and discussing our thoughts of The Sandman on Netflix. So if you're excited, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And let's get into it. So how do you want to start? Oh, also this will be spoiler-free, everyone.
Yeah, we both watched the new Netflix Sandman adaptation, and I thought we would give our opinion because we've been talking back and forth, like messaging, like, oh, like, what do you think about it, talking, and we wanted to sort of give our opinion, but I thought we should preface that both of us don't know the original IP or graphic novel that was written, so we don't have any background in that.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a graphic novel.
Yeah, but we seen the trailer and we're like, this looks interesting, let's check it out. It looked kind of like up our alley. And yeah, I thought we should maybe give our spoiler-free opinion, so we're not going to spoil anything for anybody, and see how we feel. But you jump in first. What do you think about The Sandman, Season 1?
I personally love it. I think it is great. I think it's so up my alley. I think it's just really well done and very interesting. And I could go for as many seasons as they wanted to. I'm definitely invested.
Totally agree with you. I absolutely love the show. I have small little gripes that we'll get into later, but for the most part, I think it's honestly fantastic. I am very surprised. Like, I don't know, as I said, I don't know much about the IP, but the places it goes, the way that it tells narratives and the way that it tells stories and utilizes like themes really, really surprised me. And specifically, some episodes were some of the best like hours of television I've ever seen, and I couldn't believe how good and how just like captured I was on the screen and wanting to continue to watch. So
Absolutely.
overall, like, I highly recommend The Sandman, and I really love it. I think it's a really unique show, and as I said, I can't speak to the original, but I imagine it's a very unique piece of IP that obviously that is why it's so beloved, and it brings such a unique take on humanity that is interesting.
Yes. I love how they delve into these kind of philosophical like questions, and it just makes you question what makes someone a person, whether it be that they dream, that they hope, or like just anything. I really love how it makes you reflect on humanity, but it's also not too heavy and dark. It also has like some light to it as well that keeps you just wanting more and feeling fulfilled.
Yeah, I think like it is a dark show at times, but it's very hopeful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the through line of it is hope.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess the rundown, we're probably not the best people to kind of give you the rundown of what the show's about, but the show focuses on Morpheus, who is the Sandman. He is a dream lord, of which there are many lords that sort of like have their own realms, and he doesn't live in human world, but he comes down to the human world. And I won't spoil from there. I don't want to spoil anything in the show because I really recommend people jump in, and I think the less you know about it, the better. But it's about his journey and his quest of gaining things back, collecting things, but also learning about humanity and meeting characters along the way, and the relationships and sort of stories that form around that narrative. And it's hard to explain, but the show can kind of be a bit of both. It has a progressive storyline with I wouldn't even say like a villain, but like antagonists, right?
Yes.
But it also is just kind of like I guess I'd say like parables or like anecdotes about humanity.
Yes.
In some episodes, it can be like one-off, and I think that it does both really well.
Yes, it continues the through line really well, and it also adds like a one-off story that is just so charming, so enveloping. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it does it brilliantly, and I'm very high on this show.
Yeah, and it's both familiar and not familiar though. Like it does have lots of. I said I don't know much about the IP, but I believe it was a long time ago. It was like over 2 decades ago, I believe, the Sandman was originally written, and you can see a lot of influence in other things today, but I still think it's super fresh.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
it's a
it's
unique
timeless.
perspective.
Yeah. No, I'm really happy with it, and I would absolutely recommend anyone watch it, whether you're interested in things like DC, Marvel, just humanity,
Harry Potter,
like
like things,
Harry Potter, yes,
in
yes.
graphic novel stuff.
Of course, of course. I mean, I just don't know much about the original IP, but I'm
Yeah.
certain that if you enjoyed that, I mean, apparently the same writer is involved in this Netflix show. So,
Yeah, Neil Gaiman, I think. Correct us if we are wrong though, but we both don't know much about it.
Yeah.
But jump on, give me some of your positives. Like whether it's characters, visuals, anything, what did you love about the show?
Oh my god, yeah, definitely the visuals. I think they shoot it beautifully, and I think there, are some really awesome visual moments. But also the characters, they are very heartfelt. They're very genuine. Like even when they're dark or when they're cruel, it's all very human, very like approachable, and I just really like that. It all feels very. Oh, sorry, that was my cat yowling. It all feels very approachable and very like familiar.
Yeah.
What about you? What are some highs?
The visuals are really good. I do have one gripe. I don't like the aspect ratio.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there. I assume it was a creative decision.
Yeah,
and
it just doesn't look good on our TV, personally.
Yeah. I got used to it, but I overall didn't love the aspect ratio. But the visuals are really good. I love the sort of dream world that they create here.
Yes.
It does a good job of like it's a lot of CG imagery, but it looks dreamy, so it fits really well, and it never takes you out. Like it all fits very, very well.
Yeah. I'd say the CG, like, it may not be the most perfected, incredible CG in the world, but it works really well for the world they've built and the dream world, and certain members of the dream world are fun as well.
I guess we can name names, like things like Lucian is great. I really love Cain and Abel.
Yes, and their pal.
Yeah, and I won't jump too many into it to come into later. But yeah, they're really great. But yeah, the characters are great. Morpheus himself is interesting. At the start, I think you may see him as just kind of unapproachable, and I guess to an extent, a lot of the lore and themes kind of seem, maybe not unapproachable, but
cold.
Yeah, a little cold, but also super dense, right? It's a very dense material at times.
Yeah,
that they're
there's
throwing
reasons behind everything.
But I think that the specificity in the writing and dialogue is good, that it holds your attention and slowly drips out the information and lore in a good way, that you are still you're entertained by the current story while intrigued enough at what is at large, and they do a really good job of dangling that. And I think that maybe that is because they've had Neil Gaiman or Gaiman, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, on it, because they seem like they have a really good grasp on the world building and the world that they're doing here.
Yeah, they're confident and sure of how they're presenting it. Yeah.
A couple of my favorite characters, and I don't know if this is a spoiler to say, but there was I won't say one name, but I can say Constantine. I'll just say Constantine.
Cool.
Constantine.
Constantine.
I always said Constantine, but I said
I thought it was Teen, but yeah, they said Tine.
Was a highlight character. I really enjoyed that character.
Yeah.
And there was a character specifically in episode 6 that I thought was fantastic.
I think it was 5.
Was it 5? No, 5, because 5 was the diner.
Oh, well, that was my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Oh, the diner. Oh.
6 was the journey that starts at.
Yes, that's my favorite. Episode.
And, I like the character, the main character that is accompanying Morpheus in that episode was really great, and that episode really
that was special.
Honestly emotionally moved me.
Yes.
And it was really beautifully done.
That was so special. Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, like I think that's also something that like jumps out to me. Morpheus is great, and I do think that they layer him with enough pathos that carry him to make him an interesting character, but also he sometimes is a conduit for other characters' narratives, much in the way of like a Mad Max.
Which I love that. I love that the protagonist that you're following can sometimes be what actually allows other characters to shine and to thrive. I think it works really well. And not that Morpheus doesn't shine. I think he's a very fascinating character, and I really like seeing glimpses of humanity in him when, he clearly prides himself on being quite stoic and by the books, but I like seeing these elements of him that other characters bring out.
Yeah, I love that, as you said, we see little cracks of humanity seep out of Morpheus, but I love, like, for example, at the end of episode 6, which I think is just a beautiful moment, they do a fantastic job of never giving you too much of it, and it never feels like they're just like, oh, here's a witty joke, or like a lot of modern media gives you so many jokes and plays things for laughs, or like they want to entertain the audience, and it feels like sometimes a little bit like undermine the audience, whereas I think this, it feels like it more has like it trusts in its narrative and its story and themes to hold your attention.
Yes.
And patience,
Totally. I completely get that. Yeah, it has like enough faith in the audience to be patient and interested and understanding that they want to join on this journey. They don't need to grab you and force you along. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's... Do you have anything else? You want to add any other positives? I'll let you take the moment, and just anything else you want to jump on?
I was really surprised by how much I really enjoyed a lot of the characters, whether they're good or bad people. They're all so fascinating and so understandable. And that's coming from someone who I don't know the original IP and the lore, so I'm already incredibly invested, and would just recommend this to absolutely anyone who finds this interesting.
Yeah. What was so your favorite episode was 6?
Yeah.
I agree.
And that character that accompanies Morpheus.
Yeah, episode 6 was great. 5 was good as well. I talked to you about, like, I love the sort of cynical view versus like an optimistic view, and it's kind of this sort of like it plays one side for a long time and then flips it, and I thought that was really interesting.
And it makes you question, like, what would actually occur based on our experience of being humans and knowing the humans we do. Yeah.
My only negative that I want to say is I don't think that the last couple of episodes after 6 are as good as the sort of first big chunk, but I don't think they're bad. I just think that it loses a tiny bit of that sort of like steam where I was like, this is incredible. It just goes like, this is really, really good.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't really have much of the negatives.
What a great negative for there to be.
Do you have any negatives that jump out to you?
Not that jump out to me. No, honestly.
Yeah. For some people, it could be like very heady material, like in very maybe a little bit unpenetratable. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to sort of like relate to or touch on, and it can be a little bit like a bit too much for some people, and I understand that. And also, people that have read it or familiar may have more negatives than me and you because we are unfamiliar.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I love the Sandman. I hope we get more.
What would you give it out of 10?
9.
Me too. Yeah. I am so happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, please make sure you guys let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you have watched it, if you haven't, but you're thinking about it, we might try to keep it spoiler free in the comments as well. So anyone who has yet to approach this still can. So please make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And we will see you in the next one. Say bye, Jordan.
Bye.